All right, you're going to go ahead and open the file from Canvas. You're going to lock your first layer. Then you're going to make a new layer that you're going to use to trace stuff. All right, you're going to make sure that your fill is off and your stroke is a bright color. And now you can go ahead and start tracing. I'm going to go ahead and start with the white of the eyeball. And you can use a combination of curved lines or straight lines, whatever you would like. I'm going to mostly use curved. Right, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to work on the iris and then the pupil and then the reflected light. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so I can really see what I'm doing. Now, you saw when I clicked, it didn't start a new thing. So I'm going to undo it. What you need to do is hold Shift if you're going to start tracing a new shape on top of a path that already exists. And it's always a good idea to kind of like play with your handles and see what you can make. See how close you can get. Now I'm going to kind of double over back. All right, that looks good. Now for the eyelashes, I'm going to just kind of treat them as one shape going all the way across. And I'm going to remember to get rid of my handle by clicking in the middle if it doesn't serve me well. Now, as I get towards the end, I'm going to kind of treat the base as kind of one chunk, and you'll see what I mean by this. So I'm not going all the way back down towards the eye because that would take forever. Curve, get rid of my handle, go back in, double over backwards over the eye. And we're going to pull that handle and make it fit. Nice. Okay, same deal with the bottom little guys. They appear separate, but you don't have to make them separate. You can just make them one whole thing. So here we go. Now let's say you made a mistake and you decide you want to fix it later. That's no problem. I'm going to show you how to fix it in just a minute. Okay, so you're going to grab the white mouse, the direct selection, and then if you double click, you can move around one little tiny anchor without affecting the rest of the shapes, which is great. If you use the selection tool, it allows you to move around the whole path at once. And that's not always what you want. So with this, you'll notice that actually this needs to dip back down. And with the anchors that I have, it's not going to happen. So you can actually hold and click on the pen tool. You can do this add anchor point. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple anchors in here. Now I can grab my direct selection and I can drag it in. There we go. And now that fits much better. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the eyebrow. Remember to go back to your pen tool. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this crease. If you want, there is a tool that kind of lets you draw freeform. It's not ideal for everything, but you might consider using it. It is the blob brush. And you can just draw what you see. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start filling stuff in. Oops, actually, I'm going to get the skin real quick too. All right, here we go. So you can make it any color you'd like. I'll pick a color that's like kind of close to my own skin just because why not? Oops. Try that again. Okay, and then I'll turn my stroke off. And now you'll see this totally covered everything. So I'm going to go into my layers panel and I'm going to click on this. And then wherever it is, it's going to show up with a red square next to it. So now I see where this is. I'm going to take it and drag it under. Okay, great. Now I can still see everything else that I've done. And now I'm just going to go in and fill the stuff that I've been working on. And let's see, for the eyebrow, I kind of want to make it a little see-through because a lot of eyebrows are light. So I'm just going to go in and just dial down the opacity. Whoa, that is way too low. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to go in and just fill in all the things. You might want to try out the gradients. So for that, what you'll do is you'll double click to choose the first color. Now, it only is giving you black and white, and this is really annoying. Illustrator thinks it's being useful. It's not. When this comes up, you're going to click this in the corner, and you're going to go to RGB. That's red, green, and blue, and that allows you to actually pick some legit colors. Okay, and then for my second color, I'm going to double click again. And again, I'm stuck with these just white and black and gray. So I'm going to click here, RGB. And then let's go with this like light. Okay, I'll make this darker. So we have a little bit more contrast. And then you'll notice like the way eyeballs work, the gradient is not going to necessarily be from right to left. So you can choose a different style. So radial has it start in the center and go outwards. And if you're like, ooh, this is kind of backwards of how I want it, what you can do is you can click this and that reverses it. So you can just kind of play around. You can change how intense it is too by moving these sliders. So it's pretty fun once you get a chance to try it out. I'll turn the stroke off. Now, if I wanted to copy the way that something else is, what I will do is I will use the selection tool to first select what I want to change. Then I'm going to grab the eyedropper and I'm going to click on what I want to copy. And you'll see it'll make these bottom eyelashes the same as the top. Nice. Very fast, very easy. All right, now the last thing I want to do, this crease, I'm going to make it kind of a more normal like shadow color. And let's see, there are some fun things that you can try. So over here in this area, there's a lot of like very interesting stuff you can try and do with it. I'll make the opacity a bunch lower. You can check out some effects. All right, I like blurring stuff sometimes, so if you want to not have a harsh line, you can go blur. And I like this Gaussian blur. And it shows you a preview behind. That looks good to me. And there we go. We are all done. You would just save it and turn it in.